Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Sue and today we are doing yoga for beginners with a specific target on the legs. So if you're a runner or a skier or a snowboarder, this will be a great class for you to stretch out those legs. It may be handy if you have a couple of blocks with you or something to double as a couple of blocks. So let's get started in standing. You want to have your feet about hips width apart and bring your hands into a prayer position. And we're just going to do a half sun salutation just so that the body is a little bit warmed up before we come into our leg stretches. So hands in prayer, stand tall, relax your shoulders, chin level to the ground. Chin level to the ground. Okay, let's begin. With a big inhale, stretch your arms out. So just start to get a shoulder stretch here. Reach your arms out. Reach it overhead, taking that gentle back bend at the very top. And exhale, just going to release and fold into a forward bend. Inhale, lift up halfway for a flat back and long spine. So you're just looking for that figure 7 shape. Okay, exhale, fold again into a forward bend. And inhale, come all the way up. I like to have my knees gently bent and back flat as I reach my arms out. Let the palms meet overhead, taking that gentle back bend, and then exhale back to the start. Okay, we'll do that again. That's a half sun salutation. Let's go. Inhale, stretch the arms out. Exhale, fold, forward bend. Good. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold, and inhale, come all the way back up. Stretch the arms out. Let the palms meet, take a gentle back bend, and exhale back to the start. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, that half lift. Exhale to fold. And inhale all the way back up. Stretch the arms out. Let the palms meet, take a gentle back bend, and exhale, hands back in prayer. Okay. Let's begin to stretch those legs out. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, come into a forward bend. Just softening here for a moment. Allow the knees to be quite soft, gently bend. Let the upper body relax forward. Okay. If possible, wrap your arms, your hands behind your calves with the fingertips pointing down towards the heels. Or you can even wrap your hands around the backs of the thighs. Now I have my knees quite deeply bent and you'll do the same thing, allowing the belly to drop down towards the chest. Okay, belly to drop down towards the thighs. So we've got a nice connection there. All right, so from here, you're just going to continue breathing. Continue that deep breath. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out through the nose. Okay. Next inhale, I want you to lift up just ever so slightly, still allowing the belly to touch the thighs. And then as you exhale, try to straighten the legs as you let the head drop a little further. So even if you're quite high up, you can't hold on to the backs of the shins, you hold on to the thighs. You're going to do the same thing. Take an inhale, lengthen that spine, and exhale. Do your best to straighten the legs, even if it's a very small movement. Okay. One more deep breath like this. Inhale, lift up slightly, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold, and then release. Let the arms dangle down towards the mat. Okay. Let's continue with that half sun salutation. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold, forward bend. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Stretch those arms overhead. Take that gentle back bend. And exhale, hands back into prayer position. That's great. Inhale, stretch those arms overhead. And exhale, fold, forward bend. Let's hang out here for a moment in this forward bend. Now, if your hands don't touch the ground properly, take a hold of a block or a prop so that you can place your hands on that prop, sturdy prop. Okay. Take your right foot and cross it, right leg and cross it behind the left. Okay, so just hold it there for a moment. If your hands touch the ground, great. If your hands touch the ground, great. If not, don't worry about it. You just hold it there for a moment. You've got your right leg crossed behind the left. Now to deepen this stretch, if you need a little bit more, you want to feel a stretch to the outside of the right thigh. So if you can't quite feel that, try bending the front knee a little. And you should be able to feel that IT bend stretch out quite nicely here. So it's a forward bend with that right leg behind the left. Good. One more deep breath. And then we'll come back up and cross the legs, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side, crossing the other leg over and then allowing yourself to fold, forward bend. And if you need a little bit more, bend the front knee. Bend the front knee and try to get that stretch to the outside of the left thigh. Good. One more deep breath. And then uncross the legs, soften here into a forward bend. Just put those blocks aside for now. Next inhale, lift up halfway flat back. Exhale to fold, and inhale, come all the way back up, stretching the arms overhead, take a gentle back bend, and exhale, hands back to prayer position. Next, we're going to take a warrior one. At the top of your mat, step the right foot back, about legs width apart. Bend the front knee so that the front ankle is directly over the front, left knee is directly over the front ankle. Okay, so left knee over left ankle, back leg is straight, and you're going to rotate your chest forward. Don't worry about the hips. You just want to make sure that back foot is planted down firmly. Great sturdy foundation. Okay, let's take an inhale, lengthen that spine, and exhale, sink into your warrior one. Okay. You can keep those hands at the waist or start to stretch those arms overhead. You should be feeling this stretch all the way to the front of that right thigh and maybe across the abdominal muscles, so a little bit across. Good. So warrior one, hold it here for one more breath. And then we're going to straighten those legs. Pivot that back foot out at a 90-degree angle and then bend that front knee over the front ankle. This time you're thinking of pressing those thighs open, so a little bit of a stretch to the inner thighs, keeping the spine straight up and down, and stretch those arms out, warrior two. Good. All right, so you should be working quite hard to keep those thighs pressed open. You should be feeling that stretch. Keep breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Good. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Okay. Next, we're moving into a triangle pose. In triangle pose, we're going to try our very best to straighten the front leg. Okay. You got it? Straighten the front leg, and we're going to keep, as though there's a wall behind you, bring that left hand down towards the left knee, shin, or ankle. You want to feel that stretch the inside of the left thigh and a little bit to the right side, the hips, the outside of the right hips, maybe into the IT bend there as well. So there we go. We can stay right here in triangle. If you want, you can reach that right hand up towards the ceiling and come into that full expression of triangle, and perhaps the gaze up towards the ceiling. Those are just the bonuses. You can bring that right hand back down into the waist if you like. Just get that stretch for the legs. One more deep breath. Good. And then inhale, back up to standing. Pivot both toes to point towards the same side of the mat. Look for parallel outer edges of the feet parallel to one another. And let's take that forward bend. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, let's fold forward. Even if it's only halfway down, you can bring your hands down onto an object again. See, this is where those blocks come in handy. Right? If your hands don't touch all the way down, bring it down onto a block. You want to keep those legs straight. Okay? So if you're bending it, then you're not getting a stretch. So you want to be feeling this stretch the back of the thighs and the insides of the thighs as well. So let's hold it here. Take 3 breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. And one more. Good. All right, start to make your way up. Hands on the waist. Inhale to come up safely. Inhale all the way up. You got it. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to start off with warrior one. So right toe points off to the outer edge of the mat. Your back foot more at a 45-degree angle. Front knee over the front ankle. Okay, very important. Back leg is straight, and then we're going to rotate the chest forward. Come into warrior one. All right, steady. Keep that breath flowing. I know I keep saying that, but it's really important. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Soften the shoulders. 2 more. Here we go. Last one. And then open up into warrior two. So again, back foot opens up at a 90-degree angle. Working to press those thighs open. Keep that spine straight up and down. And then bonus, stretch those arms out. So what happens is often that front knee collapses in. You want to keep it lined, front knee over the front ankle. Okay. Steady gaze over those right fingertips. Soften the shoulders and breathe. You got it. One more deep breath. Next, we come into our triangle pose. Straighten the front leg as best as you can. Okay. Take that right hand, reach it forward, and then bring it down towards the right knee, shin, or ankle. Long lines. Option to take that left hand and stretch it up towards the ceiling. Option to turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. So all these little things to add on. Triangle pose. Good. Let's do one more breath. And then inhale all the way back up. All right. Now toe heel your feet in a little closer towards one another. And we're going to make our way down onto the floor to give to bring a deeper stretch to those hips and those leg muscles. And we'll start off in a dragon pose. So to do this pose, bring the right knee forward. Have the right knee aligned over the right ankle and the left knee at least slightly behind the hips. So left knee at least slightly behind the hips. And use those blocks if necessary. In this case, I'm going to put those blocks aside. Okay. Hands on the ground, let the hips sink down and forward, and you should be feeling that stretch to the hips, front of the hips. Okay. So this is our runner's lunge. And we're going to come into dragon pose. To do dragon pose, you're going to start to lift the belly off the thighs, placing your hands on your, lift the belly off the thighs so you can place your hands on the thighs at this point. If this is too much, bring your hands back onto the ground. All right. Take one more deep breath. All right. And we're going to release the hands down onto the ground and now get a deep hamstring stretch and calf stretch by walking your hands back, straightening the right leg. Try peeling the right toe off the ground a little bit more to deepen the calf stretch. Nice long spine. If you find yourself, if you find it really hard to get into this pose and you need to be propped up a little higher, use those blocks or those props. But you're doing your best to keep the legs straight and the spine straight at the same time, even as you bow over the extended leg. All right. One more breath. Beautiful. Let's bring it back towards the top of the mat and make your way back into a tabletop, and you know, if you want to move a little here, definitely stretch those legs out. You can even try coming into downward facing dog. That's our inverted V shape, downward dog. Just make sure the spine is long. And you want to press down into those hands, good spread to the shoulders and shoulder blades. Okay. Let's get ready to come to the other side. So you're going to have your left knee forward this time. Okay, so step the left knee up. Make sure the right knee is at least slightly behind the hips, and use those blocks if you need to. You're going to let the hips sink down and forward. Staying here is fine, right? You might want to remain here, or you can start to make your way up, belly off the thighs. So it's a great stretch. If you sit a lot too, this is a perfect stretch for you. Just give those muscles along the front of the body a good lengthening. Let's take one more deep breath here. All right, it's great. Come on back and take our half stretch. Again, just straightening that front leg, long spine and long legs. Try peeling that left toe off the ground to get a deeper stretch to the calf. Are you holding your breath? If you are, please continue to breathe slow exhales. Deep inhales. 2 more. Good. All right. Let's make our way back. Downward facing dog or just tabletop to stretch those legs out. I always like to take a little bit of movement, slow and controlled movement. So if you're in tabletop, you can do the same things. Walk it out a little. So we got a lot to the back of the legs. We got our hip flexors. Let's be sure to target the quads as well. Okay, so to do this, we're going to do it a little bit more controlled, coming into half hero's pose. Take the right leg and stretch it out in front of you, and then lean slightly over to the right side so that you can tuck that left foot in. Okay, so it's like a half hero's pose because we're not doing both legs, we're keeping that right leg straight, so it's a little bit more controlled. Now, oftentimes what happens, I notice this a lot, it's really hard to come into this, your foot hurts, you go ahead and pat that foot with a blanket, or you have that knee open up quite a bit, which is fine, but as you do this, as you come deeper into this pose, you must really be aware of where that thigh is, okay? So if your thigh is pointed out at a 45-degree angle, be sure to lean back at the same angle to deepen that stretch. If you have your thighs pretty much close together, then of course you can go straight back to deepen that stretch. So nice deep stretch here. For those of you with that knee open up, you can lean back quite a bit as well in that direction, that angle. Hold it there and keep breathing. It's okay to have a little twist to the spine, just as long as you're not yanking into it. Okay, just make it upper body is relaxed. Just focus on those legs, getting a deep stretch to the front of that thigh. Here we go. Let's take one more deep breath. And then lean over to your right side so that you can switch over to the other side. Okay, so we've got our right foot tucked in, left leg straight. Again, if it's at an angle, be sure to lean back at the same angle. And then if it's straight, then you can lean back. Very careful. You want to make sure you're taking slow movements, being very, very mindful of your knee, the health of your knee. Okay, so deep breaths. Good. Let's do one more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Great. Lean over to the left side. And then we're going to just come on down onto our backs. We won't be needing those props. Then from here we will be taking our figure 4 stretch. And it's a great stretch for the hips. So it's also known as pigeon pose on the back. I like to call it figure 4 because it creates this great figure 4 shape, right? Okay, so let us bring our left ankle and prop it just above that right knee on the right thigh. And you can keep that left foot flexed. Okay, so in order to deepen this stretch, you might be able to just use your legs, the strength of your legs to press that left knee away from the body, and that you might be able to feel that in the left hip already. So you'll stay exactly where you are. If you're feeling that, remain here and just breathe. If you need a little bit more, you can lift that right foot off the ground and wrap your hands around the right thigh, and that way you can just deepen the stretch. Just draw that knee in a little closer towards the body, and this should feel really good, especially if you have tight hips, right? It gets deep into those hips, the glutes. Okay, let's hold it here. A couple more deep breaths at least. Okay, and let's release that and place that right ankle just above that left knee on the thigh. And then if you want more, you can certainly wrap your hands around the left thigh to draw that left knee a little closer towards the body. You'll feel it in that right hip. Okay. And you can check out your pedicure here. No, stay in the moment actually. Stay with your breath. Inhale through the nose. Okay, exhale out through the nose. Stop for a little bit more, one more breath. Great, let's release that, soften, and just allow the knees to drop side to side in a gentle windshield wiper movement. Good. So we're pretty much at the end of our practice now. Shavasana is the only thing left to do. I encourage you to stay here for 2 to 5 minutes in your Shavasana. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much, and Namaste.